Hello and welcome back to the Monsters of Monster Hunter Double Cross, where today we are focusing on Yian Garuga. So let's find us a G-rank Garug. I think they're in G2? I hope they're in G2? They couldn't be in G1, could they? Maybe, oh, G3 is where they are. Well, I guess G3 it is. And let's actually eat for attack. I can't get fire res with it, so just ice res will do, I suppose. I've actually fought quite a few Garugs recently. Mainly because I was preparing for the next episode of this series by... Oh, hey, secret area. Neat, but I don't need the stuff. Yeah, I was preparing for the next episode of this series by unlocking G5 Deadeye. So, yeah, I soloed me some Garugs. Okay, where does this thing even start? Unfortunately, I can't wave at Valfalcon, have it tell me. Does it maybe start where Zinogre started? That'd be weird, but I guess possible. Well, the Optonoths don't have a care in the world, so... Maybe it starts up in Stormy Town? It's basically the last place we haven't checked that actually has access to the air. Of course, it's not here now. They wouldn't start it up there, would they? I'm pretty sure only Valfalc goes up there. Valfalc and Remobras. And now for the long jump. We're gonna find this Garug. And when we find it, we are going to make it very unhappy. Yeah, I had only done G1 Deadeye before... oh, here it is now. Before going to unlock G5 Deadeye for the next video. So, I had a few Deadeyes to solo. Deadeyes and their Rajang friend. Admittedly, the Rajang was a little more dangerous than the Deadeye. I mean, Deadeye was probably capable of higher damage with a single blow, but it had bigger wind-ups for its high damage stuff. And for the most part, it was not extraordinarily high damage on any given attack. Let's get this tail separated from this Garuga. I don't like when Garugas have tails, and also I got myself facing the wrong way, and I had meant to do one of these, but apparently I messed up. Good job, cat. Ow. 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 We're, not having the best time right here. I want this. That was not worth the damage I took. Just a tear. I find it interesting that in 4U, literally every Garuga we fight is missing an ear. Whereas in this game, it's only the Deadeyes that are missing an ear from the start. The rest of the Garugas, we have to take an ear. And good job, cats. Ow. I'm getting more trashed by this regular Garuga than I was by Deadeyes. Garuga, if I'm quite honest, is probably one of my least well, not probably, it's definitely one of my least favorite monsters to fight in this entire game. Mainly because this is the fourth game it's been in since Freedom Unite. And yet a lot of its animations and hitboxes are, well, not hitboxes, but hitbox timings. And I guess some hitboxes are still just as unpolished as they were in Freedom Unite. And like, they've had so many opportunities to just fix Garuga, but the fact that its charge attack has a hitbox across its entire body and said hitbox activates the moment the attack starts, like even if it's running forward less than one step like it did there, it still does full damage instantly. And just, that is not great. Other monsters at least have like a wind-up or something else, but no, Garuga, it's a full body, full hitbox for the duration of the charge, and it's bad. Like, sometimes it wants to do its repeated pecks on your face, and you'll be slightly in front of it to the point where before it's willing to start the peck attacks, it has to move forward just ever so slightly. And in doing so, it activates the charge attacks hitbox, and thus you take damage from the charge instead of the pecks, even though it moves forward less than a step. And just things like that really hold Garuga back from being a good monster in my mind. If they'd fixed its hitboxes and its instant charge and its animations, I would honestly probably think Garuga was pretty okay. But they didn't. And it's the clearest holdover from the older generations out of all the monsters. Like, this beak slam attack, that's actually new, but it's got pretty bad hitboxes. Like, it's clearly the beak doing the slamming, but if you're between its legs when it lands, you take the hit, for example. And it's just, between the new stuff not being well implemented and the old stuff being old and really showing its age, yeah, Garuga is the least like updated for modern generations of Monster Hunter. Which is a shame because it's kind of a pseudo flagship for Monster Hunter Portable. It was one of the first monsters to actually get its own theme, too. If not, well, no, it wasn't the first. That goes to the monsters from Monster Hunter 1 that were like Fatalis and Lao. Those big fellas. Garuga was like the first monster that you could fight anywhere that had its own theme, I believe. Yeah, for a pseudo flagship like this to not get the same treatment as other monsters, it's really a shame. Because, like, in concept, Garuga's pretty cool. It's like, take a Kutku, but make it actually intimidating and vicious and dangerous. And you've got Garuga. But then they did it wrong. Well, I mean, they didn't do it wrong. It's that they didn't update it. So it just doesn't feel right next to all the monsters that have been updated. Pretty sure this is not the fastest way to get where we want, but it's the way we're taking. Yeah, they definitely could have done a better job with Garuga. At least aesthetically, Garuga is pretty okay. I still feel like I would prefer for it to be a little bit meatier. Garuga and Kutku are still looking a lot like they did back in the olden days, back when they forgot to feed their monsters. But at least Garuga's got more bulk to it than Kutku, so it at least justifies itself better than Kutku does. Also, they did really good texture work on Garuga as well. Yeah, basically, just to re-summarize what I've been saying, Garuga looks good. It's a pretty neat concept. Only thing holding it back is that it still feels like something out of Freedom Unite instead of something from a newer game. Freedom Unite or earlier, because it is from earlier. Also, I'm not a huge fan of how its armor is, like, the purple shells are neat. The bright green, well, not bright, but the obnoxious green chain under the plates is weird. And also, like, you can break its wings, its back, its beak twice, cut its tail. That already makes this guy a much more interesting fight than Kutku. And, like, yeah, he's got some decent texture work going on. On the shells, like in the middle of the back, the texture's kind of low res. But then if we get over to the wings or the neck or the legs or the tail, it all looks pretty okay. It's a good looking bird, just not a good playing bird. And I actually personally think that Deadeye is a little bit more pleasant to fight. It doesn't have quite as many of the holdovers from old gens. It's still got some, of course, just not quite as many. And that is it for this episode. Join us next time when we take on this Garuga's smaller, meaner, not exactly cousin. It's the same species. But yeah, Deadeye Garuga coming up next. See you then, friends.